أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته Laylatul Jumu'ah Mubarak. This is the night of Friday. Oh my goodness. And Eid again. So many, okay? Every single week. Anyway, so this is what we're going to do every Thursday. We're going to recite a little bit of Qur'an from Juz 29 because we did Juz 30 in the month of Ramadan. We will look at Dua al Kumayl. Our main topic will be the A to Z of Islam, and we'll start with A. And you can see we've got, like we did A to Z of Salah, we will do A to Z of Islam. And we will end with Surah Yaseen and the Ziyarah of Imam Hussein. And again, we will look at some of the aspects of Surah Yaseen because normally when we go to the center, and we will one day inshallah, we recite Dua al Kumayl, Surah Yaseen, and the Ziyarah of Imam Hussein. So this is the practice we will keep up. So if you've got your Qur'ans with you, then open it to Juz 29 and we're going to recite Surah Al-Mulk. I'd like you to recite it with me together loudly, and then we'll talk a little bit about it and then go into Dua al-Kumayl. So if you're ready, Juz 29, okay, the first surah of Juz 29, which is Surah Al-Mulk. Are you ready? All right, so recite it with me. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فتور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيها وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نأكل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبض ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور أفمن يمشي مقبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم قل هو الذي ينشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين قل إنما العلم عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين فلما رعوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم قل هو الرحمن وآمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق الرسول الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. Okay, so let's look at Surah Al-Mulk. Surah Al-Mulk is also known as Al-Tabarak, Surah number 67. It's the beginning of Juz 29. It's a Makki surah. There are so many benefits for this surah. Sadly, sometimes we only recite it when somebody dies. But this surah you got to recite all the time. So, for example, it says, if you recite Surah Al-Mulk, it's like you kept awake on Laylatul Qadr. Can you imagine Surah Al-Mulk? It removes the reciter from Jahannam. And when we do the surah, somewhere when we will try and understand every ayah, we'll see why. There's a protection of Allah. It saves somebody from being scared in the grave. If you recite it for a marhum, and that's why we recite it 40 times, there is relief for them. There is intercession. That means for the person who memorizes, who understands and applies it in their lives, on Qiyamah, there's intercession. The surah will say, she followed it or he followed it. So you know what? Recite it, especially on Thursdays and Fridays. Just keep on reciting Surah Al-Mulk. It's phenomenal. So what's the focus? The focus of Surah Al-Mulk, somebody says, what's Surah Al-Mulk about? Well, it shows you the greatness of Allah's kingdom compared to the little bit of the human being. Tabarakalladhi biyadihil mulk. My goodness, barakah, more than expected. His kingdom has so much. And then he says, Alladhi khalaqal mawta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. He has created death and life, so he tests which of us does the best of deeds. So that's the purpose of life and death. Who did the best of deeds? There's a reflection on creation, and there's also accountability. We're all accountable. We all have to stand up and we'll have to talk about why we did certain things. And then there's a regret of those who refuse to follow guidance. They'll be asked, wasn't there anybody who came to you to tell you what was right and wrong? They'll say, yes, they did come, but we lied. We didn't listen to them. So that's Surah Al-Mulk, in essence, there's 6 sections. And inshallah, when we come to that surah, as in studying it, we will look at it in greater detail. But now I'd like to look at Dua al-Kumayl. And before I look at Dua al-Kumayl, I talk a little bit about it. So I did tell you it was Dua al-Kumayl because Kumayl, when Imam Ali recited it in the Mosque of Basra, it was his companion Kumayl who goes up and says, Ya Ali, teach me this dua, because he said that was the dua of Prophet Khizr. So I'm going to talk about Prophet Khizr a little bit so we know who he is, okay? So Prophet Khizr, I'm going to get this right. He was the great, great, great grandson of Prophet Nuh. How many greats were there? 3. Great, great, great grandson of Prophet Nuh. Can you imagine? That's Prophet Khizr. Wherever he sat, if it was, it just being green. So if there was the grass that had died, it would become green and flowers would come up. I remember I used to know him as a flower prophet because everywhere he sat, flowers would grow, trees would grow, everything would become green. That's why his name is Khizr, okay? But his real name is Talia, Talia. Can you say that? Okay, his name is Talia. So he's the person who meets Prophet Musa in Surah Al-Kahf. We talked about it, but when we do Surah Al-Kahf in detail, you will see that he's the one who meets Prophet Musa. And when they were leaving, there's a long story. When they were leaving, Prophet Musa says, "Can you give me some advice?" So this is the advice he gives him. He says, "Never look down upon a person because you think you know that they've committed a sin. That's not up to you. You're not a judge." Secondly, he said, Allah likes three things. How many? Three. The first thing he said, that when you have a lot, even then you don't waste, you're moderate. The second thing is, even when you're able to take revenge on someone, you forgive them. And third thing is that you are kind to everyone. And if you do that, Allah will be kind to you on Qiyam. And finally told him, if you want to be wise, Musa, then you must be God conscious. You know what taqwa is? God conscious means always being aware that Allah is there and making sure that we follow what He says to do and not do what He says not to do. Imam Rida says, and I love this, he says that Prophet Khizr is at every Hajj. Remember, he's still alive. He's a prophet who's still alive. He's at every Hajj and he keeps Imam Mahdi company. So two things you remember about him. Wherever he goes, it's green and he keeps Imam Mahdi company. Don't you think that's awesome? I think that's phenomenal. Okay, so before we go to the Kumayl, let's just have a look a little bit about Laylatul Jum'ah. I've spoken about it many times, but repetition is really, really good. So first of all, it's like rahmah raining from the skies. Can you imagine? This is what Thursday night is about. That means as soon as it's time, oh, by the way, what is the time for Salah? Do you know the times for Salah today? What was the morning time for Salah? Maybe if you didn't do Sahri, you've forgotten, but you've got to remember it every single day. So the time for Salah this morning was about 2:35. What was the time for Zohar? Anybody? Okay, 1:04. What about Asr? Oh, now that's one we get stuck with, wasn't it? It was 5:15, 5:16 actually. What time is Maghrib? What time would Iftar have been? Do you know? It's about 9:15. My goodness, it's getting later and later and later. And what about Isha? Do you know what time for Isha is? It's a bit late. It's about 10:53, near 11 o'clock. So these are the times of Salah. So just as Maghrib sets in at 9:15, my goodness, can you just imagine there's a downfall of rahmah? If you look up, you'll see it like pixie dust. It's just coming down. The night always precedes the day. And so Friday begins at Maghrib. And the Prophet said, I'll go to Imam Bakir in a minute. The Prophet said, in the 24 hours of the day and night of Friday, in every hour, there are 600,000 opportunities to get freedom from the fire. Can you imagine? Just ask for forgiveness again and again and again. And he said, whatever you do on Friday, that's good. You get twice as many thawabs. Avoid sins, do good deeds. Imam Bakir says, the sunrise of Friday is better than all the other days. And the birds, when they meet each other on Friday, say peace to each other. He also said, as soon as the sun sets and Friday begins, Allah orders an angel, this is Imam Bakr, an angel to announce, is there anyone who wants safety and peace so I may give it to him? Is there anyone who turns in tawbah or in forgiveness and I can forgive them? Is there anyone who is stuck, is in distress, who's looking for livelihood, who wants good health, who wants freedom from captivity, who's lost stuff and wants to find it? I will give him what he wants if he calls upon me tonight. I mean, there's so many things. I was reading all the things that we can do on Thursday night. I'm going to pick a few. For example, if you recite Tasbihati Arba, Subhanallahi, Walhamdulillahi, Wa la ilaha illallahu, Wallahu Akbar, again and again and again. If you recite a lot of salawats, there are so many ahadith about salawats to be recited today. You know, Imam Rida says that if you find that you think, oh my goodness, I've done so many bad deeds, how am I going to start? Where am I going to start? I want to start my stock of good deeds and I want to reduce the bad deeds. Well, do your istighfar. Ask for forgiveness. If it's against somebody else, go say sorry, sort it all out. But he says, keep on reciting salawat again and again and again, and that will decrease the weight of your sins. Can you imagine? Salawat and istighfar. I mean, keep a tasbih with you. Just keep them with you. With your hand, in your hand, just keep on reciting salawat and istighfar. You're waiting for something, salawat and istighfar. Imam Sadiq says that from Asr on Friday, that from tomorrow, the angels record the salawat on silver paper with gold pens. I mean, you can't go wrong, can you? But tonight, remember your marhumin. Make a list of all the people in your family who have died. Grandfathers, sometimes we forget our great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers. We're here because of them. You know, they did something. Parts of our character are them. We've got their genes. We owe it to them to remember them. So, before you start eating your dinner, or if you've already eaten, maybe as you finish, one Surah Al-Fatiha. Remember your marhumin, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, whoever, whatever. May Allah keep all your family safe. But those who have died, remember them today. It is tonight a night to remember. Istighfar as many times as possible, as I told you, preferably 3 times before Fajr. But one of the du'as that is recommended so much, and we all read it, is Dua al-Kumayl. So just as we did Dua al-Iftitah, we will recite a little bit at a time and we'll try and understand it. So what we'll do is recite the first sort of 10 sections of this dua. I'm going to go through it, like go through the meanings, and then we will recite it, okay? So this is a dua of Khizr taught by Imam Ali to Kumayl, and he did such a good marketing job. Now we all know it as Dua al-Kumayl. Can you imagine? It's phenomenal. Maybe one day somebody will give us a dua to move and we'll remember it as that dua. That's what we got to do. Make sure something that works, we spread it as far as possible. So it starts off by Allahumma inni as'aluka birahmatika allati wasi'at kulla shay. I ask you by your mercy, which hugs everything, embraces hug. Can you imagine? You're hugged by His mercy. And this comes from Surah Al-A'raf, Surah number 7, ayah 156, where Allah says, وَرَحْمَتِي وَسِئَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. It's actually taken from there. So it's part of that section. I ask you by your mercy that hugs everything. So you got to imagine this massive hug. When I used to be sad as a child, my papa used to tell me, just imagine that the Kaaba has these arms and it's hugging you and all will be well. So this is Dua al-Kumayl, okay? Then you say, وَبِقُوَّتِكَ الَّتِي كَهَرْتَ بِهَا كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. I ask you by your strength that controls everything, that dominates everything. And then what else does this strength do? وَخَذَعَ لَهَا كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. It makes everything humble. When you see something strong, you sit there and you go, oh my goodness, I'm not going to fight that. That's what it means. وَذَلَّلَهَا كُلُّ شَيْءٍ. It subdues everything. Even if somebody's, really thinking they're going to bully someone, if they see somebody who's stronger, they keep quiet. So Allah is saying, we're asking Allah, I'm asking you by that strength, Ya Allah. Then we say, the third thing we're asking to Him for is, وَبِجَبَرُوتِكَ الَّتِي غَلَبْتَ بِهَا كُلُّ شَيْءٍ. Jabbar is somebody who heals with strength. So we're saying, we're asking you through that healing nature, through strength, which overwhelms everything. Nothing can fight it. And then, وَبِإِزَّتِكَ الَّتِي لَا يَقُومُ لَهَا شَيْءٍ. And we're asking by your might, by your authority. Basically, it's your authority, which nothing can resist. So nobody can fight it. Then we're saying, وَبِإِزَّتِكَ الَّتِي لَا يَقُومُ لَهَا شَيْءٍ. And we're asking you by your greatness, which absolutely nothing can beat. وَبِعَظِمَتِكَ الَّتِي مَلَأَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ. And by your power, which is over everything, which controls everything. وَبِسُلْطَانِكَ الَّذِي عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And your authority, if I can say, you are in charge over everything. وَبِوَجْهِكَ الْبَعْدِ بَعْدَ فَنَاءِ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. وَبِوَجْهِكَ الْبَاقِي means you will remain always, even after everything is gone. وَبِأَسْمَائِكَ الَّتِي مَلَأَتْ أَرْكَانَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And your Asma'ul Husna, and we'll talk about it soon, your attributes which fill everything, which hold everything up. وَبِإِلْمِكَ الَّذِي أَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Your knowledge that encompasses everything, that knows everything. وَبِنُورِ وَجْهِكَ الَّذِي أَضَاءَ لَهُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ. Oh, I love it. By the energy, by the light of your existence, of your presence, that just lights up everything. That is Allah. So that's what we're asking. So we're asking, there's 10 sentences, but we're asking 9 names of His. Ya Rahim, Ya Qawi, Ya Jabbar, Ya Aziz, Ya Azim, Ya Sultan, Ya Baqi, Ya Alim, and Ya Nur. These are the 9 names. When you read a dua, you gotta read it and understand it a little bit. Take those 9 names and write them down. We're trying to find a copy of Dua al-Kumayl that has got some really big writing. And inshallah, when it's done, we'll put it on the website so you can download it and you can make your notes nearby. But if you've got a copy of Dua al-Kumayl, then recite this bit with me. Are you ready? Okay, recite it with me. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. I need you to learn this. So read it again and again and again. So next Thursday when we read it, you really know it well and you know those 9 names. I'll repeat them again. Ya Rahim, Ya Qawi, Ya Jabbar, Ya Aziz, Ya Azim, Ya Sultan, Ya Baqi, Ya Alim, and Ya Nur. And these are phenomenal names of Allah. Okay, so can we have a really loud salawat, please? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what we're going to do from now on is the A to Z of Islam. And as you can see on your screens, you have a chart. And today we're going to look at A. And A is for Allah. It's quite simple. We all know A is for Allah. But what is Allah? So the name Allah is a combination of all His attributes. You know, it's made up of 2 words, Al and Ilah, the one God. And I told you before, when I was little, this is what my papa taught me. That is the alif, and then you draw the lam like that, and you stop there. Can you see that? And that's Allah. You can actually write it on your hands. It's a phenomenal name. It means one who deserves to be loved, one into whom everyone seeks refuge. And unlike the word God, there's no gods or no goddesses, there is no feminine, there's no plural. And the people of Makkah used to come and ask the Prophet, and they would continue to ask him, say, who is this God? Who is this one you're in love with? Who is this Allah? And he didn't say anything unless the revelation came and Surah Al-Ikhlas was revealed. Now you all know Surah Al-Ikhlas. Look what Allah says. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul, say Muhammad, tell them, Huwallahu Ahad. Allah is Ahad. Remember in Arabic, one is Wahid. Ahad is a beautiful depiction of, it means it can't be divided, it can't be preceded, there's nothing before it, nothing after it, can't be multiplied. It's just unique. He, Allah, is the unique. Allahu, Wallahu, Ahad. Allahus Samad. Allah is He, and very gentle, very, if I can say, not in detail, just generally, Allah is He on whom all depend. We're all dependent on Him. Allahu Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. No children, no parents. That's part of creation. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. My goodness, there is nobody like Him. You got to recite this again and again and again, all the time. What else do we know about? How can we describe Allah from the Quran? So in Surah Al-Shu'ara is Surah number 26. Prophet Ibrahim, let's see how he introduces Allah. So this is from ayah 78. Okay, so go from 78 to 82. He says, Alladhi khalaqani fahuwa yahdin. Allah is He who created me and then showed me the way. It's really amazing. Walladhi huwa yut'imuni wa yaskin. He gives me to eat and He gives me to drink. Every time we see food and drink. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. And I love this sentence. Whenever you're not feeling well, inside or outside, keep on reciting it. وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. It is He, when I'm sick, that He brings me back to health. وَالَّذِي يُمِيتُنِي ثُمَّ يُحْيِينِ. And He will cause me to die, and then He will give me life again. Oh, and the last one, I just love it. He says, والذي أطمع أن يغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين. And he's the one whom I hope will forgive me all my mistakes on the day of judgment. So that's how Prophet Ibrahim described him. It's really, really important to understand who Allah is. Now, the first sentence of the kalima, when you and I say the kalima again and again, we say, La ilaha illallah. There is no God except Allah. It's called tahleel, and it's one of the most beautiful sentences we can say. Imam Ali said that whenever a servant of Allah, says La ilaha illallah, it pierces every ceiling. Can you imagine if I'm saying it here in this room? It goes above through the ceiling, it rubs out all your sins, and it passes them by until it reaches its equivalent in good deeds. My goodness, it's like an arrow that cuts through all your bad work and it goes straight for the good. It's just amazing. Imam Sadiq says that saying La ilaha illallah is the price of Jannah. It's the key that opens the door to Jannah. If you say it 100 times before you go to sleep, Allah builds you a mansion in Jannah. If you say La ilaha illallah and you ask forgiveness for your sins, then all your sins will fall down like leaves in autumn. Can you imagine? I know it's spring and they're all growing, but in autumn they all fall down. There is so much about just saying La ilaha illallah. But now, if I say I believe in Allah, what does that mean? And why have you got a tasbih on your screen? I call that tasbih the Asma'ul Husna tasbih. Okay, they're 99 names of Allah. So the Prophet said, Takhalluku bi akhlaqillah. Adopt in yourself the akhlaq of Allah. So in the same way, if we look at a Quranic society, if we're looking at an ideal Quranic society, we've got to see how we incorporate that in our lives. For example, in our lives, we need peace. So one of the names of Allah is As-Salam, which is peace. So we've got to make sure not only we are at peace, but we radiate peace. That is why you and I always say Assalamu alaikum all the time. That's what we do, okay? We want trust in a society between each other. So one of the names of Allah is Al-Mu'min. Now we might think that is a believer, but it's a quality which means one who is trusted, right? So we got to be like that too. Al-Qawi, the strong one. Al-Ghani, the independent. We need all these sort of things in our lives. So how do I incorporate in my life? So if I looked at Rahim, for example, which we looked in Dua al-Kumayl, the first one, not only do I have to know the theoethics of the name, then I need to know the psychoethics, then I need to know the socioethics. So the theoethics of the names, I need to know the meaning. So I know Rahim is kindness, for example. I got to manifest it in my own life. And then I've got to make sure, I've got to internalize it, and then I got to manifest it. Manifest means I got to make sure people see me as kind. That's how we live it. And we're going to go through all the 99 names, inshallah, and learn them and how we're going to apply them to our life. Each name, every single name, is a dua in itself. In Dua Kumayl we say, Ya man ismuhu dawa. Oh, the one whose name is dawa. That's what we're talking about. It's a dua in itself. So if I were you, and maybe that's a suggestion, let's start this week. So this week we'll start with Ya Allah. Okay, we won't go into any of the Asma'ul Husna. I'll go through them next week. So Ya Allah, and we recite Ya Allah at least 10 times every day. If you can, you do a whole tasbih 100 times. So the moment you think Allah, you think the one God, the unique, the one on whom everybody depends on. There's nobody like him. And we think about all those things that Prophet Ibrahim says in Surah Al-Shu'ara. That should go through my head all the time. And know Allah is Ismi Azam. It's magical. When I say magical, it has an energy and it has a power beyond no other just by saying Ya Allah. In fact, maybe we could do a tasbih of La ilaha illallah, because that will encompass the whole thing. So that's what we're going to start off with. That's what we're going to do today. And next week, inshallah, we will continue with the Asma al-Husna, and then somewhere along the line, we'll go to the other letters of the alphabet. But for today, one of the things we do on Thursday is recite Surah Yaseen. So we got to know what Surah Yaseen is all about. Now, when I draw or write Surah Yaseen, this is how I write it. Can you see it? Oh, I'm glad you can. I always write 36 and I draw it in a heart. If I want to tell someone I love them, I say, I 36 you. And do you know why? Well, because Surah Yaseen is Qalbul Qur'an. It's the heart of the Qur'an. It's known as Qalbul Qur'an, right? Um, the the Prophet said there is a heart for everything, and Surah Yasin is the heart of the Quran. So what does qalb mean? And it's not with a ka, it's with a qa. It's a qa. Okay, so what does qalb mean? So qalb comes from the Arabic word qalaba, which means to turn, right? So that means it should turn towards Allah and not attach itself to anyone. That's the heart. The heart is the qalb. It should only turn towards Allah, not attach itself to anyone, because the moment it gets attached, it will be broken, either by death or by somebody running away. A heart is not a qalb if it is not turning towards Allah. It is something else. Okay? Now, Surah Yasin, if you look at the focus of Surah Yasin, it literally encompasses usul, the basics of religion. It talks about Tawheed, it talks about Nubuwah or messengers and guidance, and it talks about accountability. And we find death in here, we find resurrection in here, and there's a lot of reflection in here about nature, and we'll go through each bit. Very often we find that most people will recite Surah Yasin for those who have died. And you find people say that. When somebody dies, they say recite Surah Yasin. But it is so more important for those who are living. If you want to know the meaning of life, we have to understand death in itself. Okay, there are so many benefits for this surah. I'm going to go through some of them so we understand what it's about. If you recite one Surah Yasin, and we'll try and do as much as we can today, it's like reciting 12 Qur'ans. 12, yeah, 12 times. So it's as though you finish 12 Qur'ans. That is the sawab. If you recite it over one who is ill, then every word that you recite, Allah sends 10 angels who asks for forgiveness and shafa for that person. And if that person were to die, then that angel will stay with them, the one that you recited Yasin with, he will stay with them till after Salah al-Mayyit, until you bury, that angel will be with them. If you find that there's difficult times like we have now, recite Surah Yasin. And I remember there was an amal for you Surah Yasin for if you wanted something, like you really were desperate to want something, so you would recite 2 rakat salah, right, for hajat. Ya Allah, this is what I want. And then you recite Surah Yasin when you sat down, and when you came to the last 2 ayat, and we'll talk about them, you know them, don't you? إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. You go straight into sajda and then you ask Allah for your hajat. That's amazing how it works. If you recite it in the graveyard, when somebody has died, normally when you go to Qabristan, when you go to the graveyard, we recite Surah Yasin. Then it replaces, if there's anything that person has done wrong, and it will replace it with goodness. That's why we recite Surah Yasin. Go there, put your fingers in the grave, make little holes with your fingers to know you've been there. It's metaphorical, but recite Surah Yasin. If you recite it during the day, it'll keep you safe for the whole day. If you recite it at night, it'll keep you safe for the whole night. I could go on and on and on. Say you've got a bad memory, it's not working, okay? Then have some rose water and saffron, recite it, and have a little bit. Put it in your puddings or your yogurts or whatever, and have a little bit with that. If somebody's really gravely ill, then recite it 1,000 times. I know it sounds a lot, but when somebody is ill and you're sitting there, that's something you recite, and Allah will give them the best there is of them. Okay. Now I said Surah Yasin, the main thing was it talks about usul, but if I look at the focus of it, the Quran was revealed as good news for those who believe and a warning to those who don't follow the orders of divinity. That's one. The second thing is there's a lot of reflection on creation. There's lots of stuff on creation. There is accountability. That means Day of Judgment comes up. And it talks about if you follow the Prophet, if you follow divine guidance, then you will be able to be the best you can. That's the only way you'll get there. Otherwise, you won't. So we've divided it into 5 parts. I'm going to look at the first part today, and we'll recite as much as we can today until my time finishes. And next time we'll look at the second part. I know we've done this in Ramadan, but I just need to make sure that every Thursday when we recite it, we actually understand what we're reciting. So the first section, like I told you, 5 sections, okay? The first section, 6 sections, I forgot. You've got it on there on your screens. So the first section we're looking at is the mandate of the Prophet. Why was the Prophet sent? And we'll talk about this in a minute. The second section talks about the city of Antioch, and we'll talk about that next week, inshallah. And Habib al-Najjar. Oh, I love him. There are two people in the Quran that I just adore. One is Habib al-Najjar, and one is Hizkil. This one is known as Mu'mine Ali Yasin, and Hizkil is known as Mu'mine Ali Fir'aun. Can you remember that? Okay, so Habib and Hizkil. In fact, in Quran City, we made these two the guides, and we'll look at Quran City at some point as well when we get to it. So Hizkil and Habib. Okay, well done. Then the third section looks at the signs of nature, and there's reflections on the signs of nature. The fourth section talks about Tawbah and Infaq. Infaq means spending in the way. Remember when we did Surah Al-Munafiqun? If you want to cure being a munafiq, then do infaq. Spend in the way of Allah. The fifth section talks about the day of Qiyamah. And finally, the last section we've got is be and it is. And we'll talk about all these as we come to them. But let's look at the first section, which is from ayah 1 to 12. So would you like to recite them with me? Why don't you recite it with me? Are you good? And then we'll do the translation. Okay, just ayah 1 to 12. Let's recite it. And then if we have time, we will do the rest of Yasin. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Yasin wal Qur'anil hakim. إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مكمهون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق الرسول الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. So let's start, and maybe we'll get a chance to recite it again if we have some time. So it starts off with Yasin. Ya, oh. Sin is the middle letter. If you were to write insan, and I'm going to try and write it so you can see how it works, okay? So let's have a look. There we go. See that? If I split the letters up, I know it's a bit light for you, but there's an alif. Can you see it there? Alif, nun, sin, and then alif, nun. So the middle letter, this is a human being. The middle letter in here is sin. So that balances the two. So Yasin means the most perfectly balanced human being. Oh, most perfect human being. The model for others. That is why the Ahlul Bayt are known as Ali Yasin. Did you know that? So the Ahlul Bayt are known as Ali Yasin because they are the progeny of the most perfect human being. So the moment you say Yasin, oh my goodness, it's just awesome. And then wal Qur'anil Hakim. I swear by the Qur'an full of wisdom. When Allah swears, it's not to prove His truthfulness, but to illustrate the importance of what He swears by. Innaka laminal mursalin. You are definitely one of the messengers. That's what Allah is saying to him. You, Muhammad, are definitely one of the messengers. Ala siratim mustaqim. You are on the highway to heaven. You are on the straight path. Every time you and I recite Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim in our salah, we've got to think of this ayah. That is the Prophet, he's on this path, he's on Sirat al-Mustaqim. It's the answer to our dua for a role model. Because we said, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. He said, Sirat al-Ladina an'amta alayhim. Here he said, look, I'll tell you who is on Sirat. You don't have to look far. So I told you there's a book called Sunan al-Nabi. Get a hold of it. Download it. I think the PDF's available as well. Look at all the things the Prophet did. Because what he did, if we do that, we'll be on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Then he says, Tanzil al-Aziz al-Rahim. This, you were sent down by the Aziz and the Rahim. Now, these were two of the words two of the names of Allah that we found in Dua al-Kumayl. Aziz, the mighty, the one with so much authority, and Rahim, the one who's kind. Why were you sent? لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. So that you may warn a people whose fathers were not warned, and so they were heedless. They didn't listen to anything. Okay, so what does that mean? That means their forefathers, their people, their forefathers, that means their parents, their great-grandfathers, their grandfathers, didn't listen. And here Allah is saying, I'm sending you so you may warn them. One of the biggest enemies is habits and traditions, because we follow the traditions of people. So sometimes, even when we know what is the truth, we don't follow it, because this is part of our habits. لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ وَلَا أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. So Allah is saying that this is true on most people, but still they don't believe because of their egos, because they think, no, if we believe, we will have to change our ways of life. Now he says why. He says, Inna ja'alna, we have placed, fi a'naqim, on their necks, aghlalan, like chains wrapped round. Oh my goodness. Fahiya ila al-adhkan, up to their chins. Fahum mukmahun, so they just look up. They can't look anywhere else. Like a horse has blinkers, like that. So Allah says the chains are up to here. They can't look down, which also tells you they're a little bit arrogant as well, and they're stuck in their own worlds, just like a caterpillar. We weave ourselves these cocoons with selfishness and arrogance, and unless we break it, we're not going to come out. We're going to die inside it. When Allah created Prophet Adam, Shaitan says, I am better than him. And he lifted his chin just like that. He says, I'm not going to do sajda. And therefore it resulted in his downfall. People whose chins are lifted, who look down at others, who refuse to do sajda, this is what Allah is talking about. Remember Abu Jahl, we talked about him. He said if he would ever see the Prophet put his head down on the ground, he would throw a big stone. So he picked up this stone and his hands got stuck. Actually, the stone fell on his own head. Anyway, then Allah says, وَجَعَلْنَا مِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ صَدًّا. We have put a barrier, a wall in front of them, وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, and behind them, وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ صَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ. We've put a cover over their eyes, فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. They can't see. So they can only see what they think. They can't see anything of this. They will read the Quran again and again and again, but make no difference to them. Now, historically, there was a man from the tribe of Bani Makhzum who made a vow, made a promise that he was going to kill the Prophet. When he came to the Prophet, when he came near the Prophet, he became blind. He couldn't see the Prophet. The Prophet was actually praying in front of him, but he couldn't see him. So this ayah was revealed as well. That was part of it, but there's also a bit, and maybe I'll talk about it later. وَسَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ, it is the same. أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ, whether you warn them or you don't warn them. لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. When we get so engrossed in ourselves and we can only see our way or the highway, we won't change. Physical idols, if you build a stone idol that you worship, you could break it. But the idols inside here, my goodness, they don't move. Innama, now Allah says who you can warn. So we gotta take this eye and really look at it. Innama tundiru man ittaba adh-dhikra. You can only warn someone who follows this reminder, the book. Dhikr, this book is known as dhikr, this reminder. And wa khashya rahmana bil ghaib. And he fears the Rahman, the most kind, even when nobody's seen. You don't like hurting your mom, or you don't like hurting your dad. They're the kindest people on the planet, but you don't like hurting them. It's the same thing. So we don't like Allah to be upset with us. So Allah says, فَبَشِّرُ, give them the good news, بِمَغْفِرَةٍ وَأَجْرٍ كَرِيمٍ. That the moment they think like this, they follow this book, and they do not they fear hurting me, or in other words, they fear doing anything wrong against me, then know that there's forgiveness for them and they have a generous reward. My goodness. And then inna nahnu nuhyil mauta, the last one. Indeed, we bring the dead to life. وَنَكْتُبُ, and we write مَا قَدَّمُوا, whatever steps they take and whatever they leave behind. So we write their steps and their footprints rather. وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. Everything is in a clear book. Whatever we do has an effect. If we leave a good track behind us and we let everybody else follow it, I mean, we've left a track for them to follow, then that is cool. But if we leave a track that people think, oh, I don't want to think about her, then oh my goodness, we've got issues. So we've got to start doing good. And everything is counted, measured, and recorded. Nothing is escaped. Even my little thoughts, nothing ever will escape. So in this ayah, normally in my Quran, I draw little footsteps so I can remember them. In the ayah number 11, I draw the Quran as a book and I write literally right near their Rahman so I know I can follow. And that's how I annotate my Quran. And it's really important that we understand what we read. So we've got a little bit of time. Can we recite these 12 ayat again? Let's do that. Then we'll recite Surah Al-Fatiha for the marhumin. Remember, we're going to remember them today. We will recite the dua for protection and the ziyarah of Imam Hussein. So if you're ready, we're going to recite these 12 ayat of Surah Yaseen again. Are you ready? Okay, so recite them with me. Let's go. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مكمهون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق الرسول الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين. Let's read Surah Al-Fatiha for all the marhumin, especially those of your family. Remember those who are ill, remember those who are in trouble, and in these difficult times, these are the things we do. We read Quran and dua. So recite Surah Al-Fatiha with me, please. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. صدق الله العظيم. Close your eyes, look down, and ask Allah to give the thawabs to the marhumin. Remember those of your family by name. Okay, let's recite the dua for protection. لي خمسة عطفي بها حر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة لي خمسة عطفي بها حر الوباء الحاتمة المصطفى والمرتضى وأبناهما والفاطمة السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. So I'm going to see you at the same time next Thursday at 6 o'clock. We're also live on Saturday at 10:30. It's part of the workshop assembly, but you're very, very welcome to join us. Please remember me in your du'as tonight. I will remember you as well, always. And stay safe. Let us raise our hands in dua and ask Allah to make us one of those that He forgives on Friday and make us Ahlul Qur'an. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم في أمان الله كريم.